If you've been reading about the Fort Myers housing market, you've probably been told the same thing I've been hearing for the last 2 years. Inventory is piling up, homes are sitting, and buyers have all the leverage. Active listings in Fort Myers are down almost 23% from a year ago. Months of supply dropped by about a third. And over in Cape Coral, the median sale price is up 12.3% year over year. So the market did shift. It shifted about a year ago, and then it shifted again. And most of the coverage you're seeing is still describing the first one. In this video, I'm going to show you what this market is actually doing in August of 2026, which specific areas are moving and which ones are stuck, and what I tell you to do about it, whether you're buying or selling. Hey, I'm Rick Harrison. I'm a realtor here in Southwest Florida. I was a general contractor before that, and I live in North Fort Myers. Our team works almost entirely with people moving here from out of state, and we've closed more than 150 homes across this region, where the market was before the shift. So let's back up for a minute, because the contrast is the whole point. From 2020 through 2022, median prices in Cape Coral and Fort Myers climbed roughly 64% in about 2 years. At the peak, homes were averaging somewhere around 16 days on market, and plenty of them went a lot faster than that. I had clients calling me from Chicago, from Boston, New Jersey, who had already lost 3 or 4 houses. They'd find something they loved, write a strong offer, and then get beat out by somebody who threw another $40,000 on top of that and a waived inspection. The 30-year fix bottomed out at 2.65% in January of 2021, and on a $320,000 loan, that's about $1,290 a month in principal and interest. That kind of payment pulled in buyers who had been priced out for years, and it pushed prices higher still. Then the math stopped working. What changed and why? So 3 things broke it, and they didn't all break it at once. Rates went first. The Fed started raising in 2022, mortgage rates followed, and by late 2023, the 30-year was pushing 8%. Anybody who was stretching to make it work in 2021 was out. Insurance went second, and I'm going to come back to that one later in the video because the insurance story has changed more than anything else I'm going to tell you today. The third piece was the lock-in effect finally letting go. For a couple of years, people sitting on 3% mortgage simply just refused to move. Then life happened anyway. People retired, downsized, needed to get closer to family. That's when listings came back. Through 2024 and into 2025, inventory here built up to genuinely high levels. Months of supply hit Fort Myers in double digits. Homes sat, sellers cut prices. That's the market almost everybody is still describing. But here's what happened next, the number that broke the buyer's market story. Fort Myers had just over 2,500 active listings in July. A year ago, that number was almost 3,300. That's a drop of almost 23%. Months of supply came in at 5.4, which is down about 32% year over year. 6 months is roughly the dividing line between a buyer's market and a seller's market, so we're right underneath it. Pending sales were up almost 11.5%. New listings only ticked up about 3%, so supply is not being replaced as fast as it's getting absorbed now. It's the same pattern across the region. Cape Coral inventory is down almost 28%, Estero is down almost 30%, Bonita Springs is down 33%. Southwest Florida as a whole is down about 23% total, with months of supply off about 34%. So when somebody tells you inventory is climbing in Southwest Florida, they're describing last year. Why it still feels slow? Now, if inventory is down and buyers are more active, why does this market still feel sluggish? Because there are 2 completely different pools of listings sitting in the same MLS, and every average you read blends them together. In Fort Myers, 619 of the 2,500 active listings, which is about 25%, had a listing in the past 12 months that expired, got withdrawn, or got terminated. That's the highest share of any city in Southwest Florida. Why that matters? When a home relists, the days on market counter resets to 0. A listing showing you 15 days may have already burned 200. Now watch what happens to those 2 pools. Fresh first attempt listings in Fort Myers that sold did it in a median of 59 days. In Cape Coral, 47 days. Homes that had to relist before they sold carried a median of 234 combined days in Fort Myers and 208 days in Cape Coral. In Fort Myers, relisted homes that closed sold for a median of about $43,000, almost $44,000 below what they had been asking for on their earlier attempt. In Cape Coral, it was $35,000. That's a split I want you to understand. Price it right the first time and you're in selling in about 2 months. Miss on the first ask and you're looking at 8 months and $40,000 haircut. Which areas are shifting most? Let me go area by area because these markets are not moving together at all. Cape Coral is the strongest right now, and that surprised a lot of people. Median sale price is at $393,000, which is up just over 12% year over year. Price per square foot is almost up 4% to $222 a square foot. That second number matters because the price per square foot adjusts for the size of what happened to sell. When both of them are moving up together, you're looking at real strength rather than a mixed shift. Sellers there got a median of 97.9% of their final asking price, and showings per listing hit 4.7. Cape Coral's middle tier, roughly $400,000 to $750,000, currently has asking prices slightly below recent sales. That is unusual unusual, and it's worth checking against actual comparable street by street because Gulf access, sailboat access, and freshwater canals do not trade anywhere near the same. Fort Myers proper is the softest of the group. Median sale price is $331,000, which is down about 1.2%. Price per square foot is $199, down 2.5%. But price per square foot actually rose in July from June's $193, which was a 30-month low. 1 month up does not make a bottom. It's worth watching, not acting on. Fort Myers also carries the highest relist rate in the region, and that widest gap between what's being asked and what's actually closing sits in the luxury tier above 1.5 million, running about 15% above recent sales. Lehigh Acres depends on which source you read, and I want to be honest about that because the median sale price is running somewhere in the $305,000 to $325,000 range, down mid-single digits year over year, with days on market landing anywhere from the mid-70s to well over 100 depending on who's counting. That spread tells you that Lehigh is thin and uneven right now. If you're buying or selling out there, a citywide number is close to useless. You need comps from your own street. Fort Myers Beach needs the most context of anywhere. You'll see headline figures showing prices down 30%. Coming off of construction background, I'd be careful with that one. The beach is still working through the post-Ian rebuild, so brand new elevated construction is closing alongside older pre-storm inventory, and that median swings hard depending on which mix happened to sell that month. Broader value estimates put the beach closer to down about 5% year over year. On the beach specifically, I'd ignore medians entirely and price off of elevation, build year, and construction type. Quick pause here. If you're moving here from out of state, the thing that costs people the most money isn't picking the wrong city. It's not knowing what a house actually costs to own once you're actually in it. So flood zones, insurance, build year, HOA, CDD, I put all of that in our free Southwest Florida relocation kit. The insurance and flood zone pages break it down by area and by build year so you know your monthly number before you write an offer instead of after. The link's in the description. How rates are reshaping buyer behavior. Let's talk rates because the number moved and a lot of what's out there is still quoting spring. As of August 6th, the 30-year fixed average is about 6.69% according to Freddie Mac. A year ago, it was 6.63, so rates are running slightly higher than last year, not lower. So here's what that means in dollars. At Fort Myers, $331,000 median, with 20% down, you're financing about $265,000. At 6.69%, principal and interest runs about $1,707 a month. Cape Coral's $393,000 median with 20% down puts you at $2,027. Neither of those include taxes, insurance, or HOAs and CDDs. So if you compare that to 2021, the same $320,000 loan at 2.65% was about $1,290. Today, it's about $2,063. That's roughly $775 a month, and that gap is the whole reason people are hesitating. One thing that's specific to this market, cash is a much bigger factor here than most places in the country. In Lee County, this June, cash was about 28% of the single-family closings and around 64% of condo closings. If you're financing, that's who you're competing against. If you're paying cash, your leverage is in certainty and speed, not just in price. And nobody serious is forecasting a return to 3%. The people buying right now are the ones working with today's numbers instead of waiting on the one that isn't coming back. Another thing worth noting is a lot of people are actually pricing in that interest rates are probably going to be going up in the near future. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Now the insurance piece, because this is where outdated information does the most damage to buyers. For years, the honest answer about Southwest Florida insurance was that it was bad and getting worse. Carriers were leaving the state, 6 went insolvent in 2022 alone, premiums were climbing at a rate nobody could actually plan around. That corner is turned. Average requested homeowners rate increases in Florida have come down from about 21.8% 2 years ago to under 1% in the most recent filings. More than 17 carriers have entered the state since 2022 and 2023 reforms. Citizens, the state-backed insurer of last resort, filed its first rate decrease in about a decade, roughly 2.6%, and Citizens' policy count peaked near 1.42 million in late 2023 and is down to around 336,000 as of early this year. I'm not telling you that insurance is cheap here because it isn't. What I am telling you is that the trajectory is actually reversed, and buyers who crossed Southwest Florida off their list back in 2023 over insurance are working off numbers that no longer hold. So here's how to actually price it. Florida's Office of Insurance Regulation runs a free tool called Choices. A Lee County run on a $300,000 new construction profile came back with 20 carriers and a range from roughly 3,000 up past 38,000. The top of that range is high net worth and surplus carriers built for coastal state homes, so set those numbers aside. For a normal buyer, the realistic floor was Citizens at about 3,900, with Florida Farm Bureau and State Farm Florida clustered near 4,100. Two things from my contractor side. Roof age drives insurability more than almost anything else on the house. Under Florida law, an insurer can't refuse to write or renew based on roof age alone if the roof is under 15 years old. Older than that, you generally need an inspection showing at least 5 years of useful life left. And here's the part most buyers miss completely. Enforced roof replacements across entire neighborhoods in Lee County. That means a large share of the homes sitting on the market right now have roofs that are only 3 or 4 years old. A lot of those sellers have no idea that that's an advantage worth pointing at, but you should know to ask. So what do you actually do if you're buying? First, figure out which pool a listing is in before you decide what to offer. Pull the full listing history. If it's fresh and priced near recent sales, treat it as competitive because those are moving in 47 to 59 days. If it's been through a prior attempt and the price never really reset, that's where your room is. Second, look at the build year, not just the price. Florida tightened its building code substantially after Hurricane Andrew with another major step in 2002. Newer construction generally insures cheaper. Run the insurance number before you fall for the sticker price because a more expensive newer home can cost you less every month than a cheaper older one. Third, verify your flood zone yourself. Do not take a listing agent's word for it. Lee County publishes flood maps at leegov.com/DCD/flood. Pull the designation, then get a real binding quote, not an estimate, before your inspection period closes. Fourth, ask about a seller paid rate buy down. Sellers who have been sitting for a while are often more willing to buy your rate down for the first couple of years than to cut the price again. Ask. The worst you get is a no. Fifth, understand that condos and single family homes are moving in different directions here. Cash is 64% of condo closings for a reason. Condo financing, reserves, and assessments are their own conversation. Don't assume what's true of houses is also true of condos. What sellers need to hear. If you're selling, I'll give it to you straight. Your first asking price is close to the whole ballgame. The data on that is not ambiguous. First attempt listings in Fort Myers sold in a median of 59 days. Homes that had to relist took 234 days and closed $43,000, almost $44,000 under their earlier ask. Nobody sets out to be in that second group. They get there by testing a number. Second, understand what you're competing against. Almost a quarter of the active listings in Fort Myers have already been through a failed attempt, and 59% of those came back at least 3% below their old price. Those sellers have adjusted. If you haven't, you're the expensive one on the block. Third, price against what has closed, not what's listed. Asking prices in Fort Myers are running almost 5.5% above recent sold price per square foot overall, and that varies a lot by tier. Above 1.5 million, it's closer to 15%. Listed comps will mislead you. Fourth, get your insurance quote before you list, not after you're under contract. Buyers are pricing insurance during due diligence now, and it has become one of the more common renegotiation points in this market. If your home insures well, newer roof, wind mitigation, good elevation, that's a selling point. Document it and put it in front of them. Sellers who price to actual closings and present the home properly are still selling in this market. The ones who are struggling are comparing their house to 2022. This market shifted, and then it shifted again, and the second shift is the one that affects your decision this month. Inventory is tighter than it's been in over a year. Cape Coral prices are up. Insurance is improving. And the difference between a good outcome and an expensive one comes down to whether you price off the right data or last year's headlines. If you already know you're moving and you want to talk through your specific situation, give us a call or send us a text at 239-376-3777. Contact information is in the description and in the pinned comment. If you'd rather start with a real conversation about your timeline and your budget, schedule a strategy session with me and we'll map out which areas and property types actually fit what you're trying to do. Call us when you're ready. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.